You know, some guys will go on eBay and buy designer shoes at astronomical prices. Some guys will get a PS5 with all the fixings and drop a grip on it. Some guys will go to the club, buy the bar for their friends, but let their woman ask for $20 and they have to think about it. Why is that? Why is it a sin for some guys to give women money? We'll discuss that tonight on tonight's Talk to Q radio show. No experts, just opinions.
T2Q Radio.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
Is that it?
What's going on, people? I want to welcome all of you to another edition of the Talk to Q radio show. My name is Quincy, and this is my show. And it is episode 949 here on Tuesday, July the 20th, 2021. And tonight we're asking the question, why would a guy give a girl money? Is that perpetuating the pay to play mentality? Or is it something that guys should do if they call themselves a leader or a head of household? Do guys need to change their modern day mindset that says women are out to get your assets? That's what we'll discuss tonight. Now, be sure to click the bell icon, like, subscribe, especially on YouTube. That's one way to show your support for the show. And for those of you who are listening to the audio version on Apple, Spotify, Ghana, or wherever you get your audio podcasts, please hit the follow button and leave a review while you're there. Thank you very much. To the virtual phone lines I go, broadcasting live from the T2Q Man Cave. Let me see who will be joining the discussion this evening. I'm going to go here to the Empire State in New York and welcome on first-timer Miss Love Tucker. Love, what's going on?
Hello, Q. Good to be here.
Glad to have you on. And, I'm going to start with you first, and then we'll go back to the phone. I'm going to start with you first and just ask you this. Is a man obligated to give his woman money or spend money on her?
Obligated? No, but it is a great idea. It is a really good idea. There's a reason why there's a saying, it's cheaper to keep her. There are things that we do that show and signify that you care for another person. And, once upon a time, I dated this guy who had a budget. And he told me, now, of course, I was 20 something years old. So keep that in mind. And he said, I don't spend more than $10 a day. And I went, how in the world does that happen? And every once in a while, I had to come out of my own pocket for some of the things in the date. But we were a couple and I understood what his goals were. And I think that's something that men don't always appreciate, that certain women will work with you if you let us in on what your goals and what your dreams are and what you're striving for, because we want to be on that journey with you.
Right. Okay. All right. I can rock with that. And they're already cutting up on Facebook. Latoya in Mississippi said, his money is my money.
Oh.
So here we go. All right, let me go back to the T2Q virtual phone lines and go to the Pelican State of Louisiana to welcome on Miss Rojana Harris. Ro, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
It's going well. And so, Ro, I'll ask the same question to you. I mean, is a man obligated to give his money to a woman or spend money on her?
I mean, just like Love said, not really an obligation, but it will feel rewarding. I will tell you this story. I grew up in a household with my grandmother and my grandfather, and I kid you not, I've never seen my grandmother have to actually come out and ask. My grandfather was more of he was an alpha male, so he knew what his role was, if that makes sense. So when he came home on Fridays for payday, the whole check, I kid you not, he would give it to my grandmother. And the only thing he wanted was his taco vodka, his cigars, and some gas. That's it. So I'm used to seeing the man be a man. Not to discredit the fact that if you don't financially provide for a woman as you should, I think that the situation when it comes to money, it should be reciprocated together, especially if we're a couple and we have goals that we're trying to strive and be together for and with. If not, just goodbye. Because how are we gonna do things together as one? Like, how can I even take you serious if you're not gonna contribute to our relationship? Not that money is always a factor, but in some cases, where there's bills and children, who's gonna share the responsibility? For me, when I did have my tax office, I was more of the alpha female, and that's unfortunate because he was used to being at home doing things, taking care of the kids and stuff, which is okay. But at the end of the year, when I didn't have any money, I needed that support. I needed that shadowing, and I didn't have that. So it goes both ways.
All right, I can get that. Well, now let's get a man's opinion on this, and I have a few show legends who have dialed in. So let me bring my show legends on. They got the special introduction because they're special.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
Eminem, what's popping, bro?
Oh, man. Oh, boy. It's all good, baby.
So, Eminem, I've heard women say that dudes place value on everything except for women. Not just any woman, but a woman you're in a relationship with. Do you want to speak on why you think that's the case? Why do you think some guys hesitate when it comes to spending money on women or giving a woman money?
Well, I mean, well, first of all, what women got to understand is, what I'm saying? I hate to give away some of the tricks of the trade, but see, all that shit is a test, man. That shit is a test. The average motherfucker don't care about no money if he really, really like a chick. But what he do care about is his ego and getting burnt. See what I'm saying? You don't want to fuck around and get egg on your face. You know what I'm saying? So, that's 90% origins of it. You know what I'm saying? But but if you really want to know if they really like you, you keep them broke and you keep them pregnant. See what I'm saying? If a woman get pregnant for a broke nigga, you know what I'm saying? Either he got some good ass dick or she really love him. Then you start, giving them more money. Then it is what it is. Then you know what I'm saying? You can take that shit to the bank, goddamn.
All right, Eminem, already starting it off. Let me go back to the phones and get another guy in here. From the 850 area code, the Emerald Coastline of Pensacola, Florida, making his way to the ring, the man in black, the Buckster. What's going on, Buck?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, how are you?
What's up, Buck? As usual, you have to follow Eminem on something. But
I know,
why do you
right?
think some men?
I'm already tripping.
Why do you think some men hesitate to give their woman money? Like I said, not just any woman, a woman they're in a relationship with.
Well, I mean, it's probably based on some things that he's seen in the relationship, in an early stage. I mean, there's a period of time that you got to get to know somebody, and when you're in a relationship and you're starting to find out how they do things and stuff like that, you recognize things, and when you recognize some of the things, some guys get a little bit gun shy, and they don't spend the money, on the females or give them money the way that they need to. Maybe, sometimes you got to sit down and talk about finance, and that's something in a relationship that a lot of people should be doing, and sometimes it just doesn't get talked about. When it does get talked about, it's really too late. So, communication is something that you got to have if you're in a relationship. So you need to communicate so that way everything can be smooth. Finances is something you need to talk about. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's fact of life. And then, both y'all, both parties need to be in tune with each other and make sure that, goals, dreams, vacations, whatever you plan on doing should be a together thing. So it shouldn't be any kind of separation when it comes to finance and things of that nature. So, but again, you got to communicate about it.
All right. All right. And ladies, I'm going to let you respond, but I got one more guy I want to get on. And let me go to this one right here. From the 732 area code, the Garden State of New Jersey, please welcome on the show enforcer, the show legend, Ray. Ray, what's happening?
Hey,
Ray,
what's
what's
going
going on,
on?
bro?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
Doing well, man. And Ray, same question. Why do some guys hesitate to give their girlfriends money?
I mean, it's a combination of things. You have some guys just don't have it. You have some guys that try to run different women at the same time, so that's a problem. And then you have other guys like myself who just don't feel like it's worth the investment. Now, don't get me wrong. If you were dating somebody, you're supposed to take them out on dates. You're supposed to spend dating money on them. Now, as far as them, now we talking about spending money. We're not talking about them asking for money. We talking about spending money. Spending money, it all depends on the behavior of the person that you're dating. If you go somewhere and everywhere they go, they want expensive things, but then they never want to buy you anything. Or if they buy you something, it's not nearly as expensive as what they're asking for. Then you don't spend money on people like that. A relationship is supposed to be give and take. If you're dating a female and she wants to spend money on you, you spend money on her. As a man, you're gonna spend more money on the female generally than she does you, but you just like to feel that you are appreciated. Now, if you're a girl, every time you turn around, they want new shoes, they need a pocketbook, they need this, they need that. Okay, first of all, instead of trying to do something constructive with money, you want to spend it on material things and foolishness. That's the kind of woman you don't need. And a lot of that stuff will start to show. I don't believe that's the case with a lot of guys. A lot of guys just don't want to spend the money for whatever reason. But then again, you have to start how you finish. You can't walk up on a chick and you wearing Gucci and Gucci shoes and all that and presenting one thing to her and then showing her another. Now you can wear what you want, but at the same time, I think that if you take somebody out, you should show them a good time, and that entails spending money. I don't think that that's
Okay.
a bad thing, but at the same time, if a woman is working, they should be able to give what they expect to receive.
All right. All right, cool. So let me allow the women to respond to this. Either one of you want to respond to anything that's been said so far?
I think I can kind of piggyback off what he's saying. I'm gonna say I agree in certain aspects, as far as like if you're not being very facetious with spending, if you're not just spending your money on a lot of leisure things, nails, hair, stuff like that. I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but I think on the terms of when you're in a partnership, when you're in a relationship, that's a partnership to me. And I think that if you're working together and you have business goals set together, and it's going to be something that's going to come back into a relationship, I think it's okay, you know. So
Okay. And Wendy chimed in from Florida. She said, I would never ask anyone for money. It would make me uncomfortable.
well, who
Okay.
want to ask? I'm not supposed to be asking anyway.
What love? You gonna co-sign to that?
I mean, exactly. I've never asked a guy for money, ever, and I'm not about to, and I can't even see being, married and going, okay, the relationship and asking for money. I'm trying to do everything myself, but that's probably a little bit more of a control thing than it is about a money thing, which usually seems to happen with the men. Like, okay, I have the money or I have more money, thus I have control, I have the power. And the power dynamic is the thing that happens in the relationships, it seems. So yeah, I'm not asking for money. I'll have people offer me things and I'll be like, no, 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 I don't want you to get me this, I don't want you to get me that. And they're like, Why? I will get it myself. Because the last thing, what I think is the flip side of that is you could have a guy go, oh, such and such, you want to get a car? I'll buy you a car. And you go, you gonna buy me a car. Then all of a sudden we get in an argument 6 months later. You gonna call up the dealership and you go, you didn't tell me that you were leasing the car, and you're gonna tell them, oh, she stole the car, and they come and take my car. That's not about to happen.
Right. I can agree, because the money can also be a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you're getting into these days. So yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. All right. And so at what point, well, let's say this, and I just, for whoever wants to answer, just a simple question. What if she makes significantly more money than he does? I mean, if you make $50,000, and I know this is kind of a pipe dream, but you're dating Mariah Carey, I mean, are you going to give Mariah money? I mean, how does that work?
But look at it like this: where is the love? Where is the love? Because sometimes relationships are not based upon money and wealth. I mean, it goes beyond that. I think the whole conversation was the role. Should you reciprocate? With giving. Should it be an obligation or not? I don't think it has anything to do with someone's financial standards. Whether I make more money, that person makes less. And like I said, with me, what happened with me was I made way more money than my ex-husband did. I never used the money against him. I just figured that while we were married and we were there in a relationship together, that when times fell down and were hard, I think that he should have picked up from there, and he didn't. So, but money was never a factor for me to say that I'm going to hold this over his head because I made more. I just needed the stability. I need a little bit of help. That was all I was asking for.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go back to the phone lines, and I'm going to get this guy in and ask him the next question. I'm going to go to the land of 10,000 lakes and bring up the homie Big Smash up there in Minnesota. What's going on, man?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Glad to have you on, bro. And so, Smash, why is there even a war between women and men when it comes to money? I mean, this is constant.
It's power. I think it's power. To a certain extent, some men tend to think that he with the most money runs everything, runs the house, runs the foundation. So if a woman makes more money than a man, it's an ego thing. It's that man's ego is definitely hurt. It's definitely affecting the outcome of the relationship. Not in all cases, but in some, you have a lot of men who want to be the provider, the breadwinner, they want to have all the solutions, all of the answers. They feel like money is the key to all of that. So I personally don't argue over money. It's stupid. It's no point in arguing over it, especially when you are with someone. There's no point in arguing and borrowing and loaning and all of that. I'm married, so what's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. It's really not a super big thing to me, but you see it a lot. A lot of relationship issues come from money or the lack of it.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask a couple of the fellas a question, then I'm going to let the women respond. So let me go back to Eminem. And Eminem, if a man, feels inclined to give a woman money, then what expectations should he have of the woman?
We talking about more than $10 or $20, right?
I mean, I guess whatever dollar amount you want to put on it for your example.
Because it's just like anything else, just like with the law, certain things is a small fine, but certain other stuff, the fine can get so big, you like, shit, I might have to do some time because I ain't got it.
Wow.
So now you get what you ask for. You start asking for money, And if this motherfucker give it to you, now you done sold you selling your soul. You know, that's basically what that involves. You know what I'm saying? You know, and really, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not saying all guys, because you have some very good guys out there, but a lot of times women think that they pissing a dude off asking for money. Nah, you get ready to feed a sheep to a wolf, because he looking like, oh shit. Because if I give you this motherfucking money, you know, I'm getting an indentured servant. You know what I'm saying? A sex slave, the whole nine. See what I'm saying, baby?
Damn.
So, yeah. I mean, you know, but you know, all that, you know, I can do this myself and all that. I mean, women say that, you know, most guys, they hear it, but they don't really like that shit. But you know, you come off like you're a willing participant. Well, like I say, if you take the deal, you know, hey, it's the art of the deal, literally. You know, hey, you know what I'm saying, you finna, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get flipped and turned inside out each way, with every which way but loose. Goddamn, you know what I'm saying?
I gotta let Love and Ro respond to this, but Love, I'll let you go first. What do you think about what Eminem is saying? Are you essentially selling your soul by regularly taking money from a guy?
No. And in my mind, I was thinking for $50, you know, because it was more than $20. No, but I think it is understood. You know, I like we're not naive people, right? Like, so at a certain age, you know, let's say, you know, whatever environment you grow up in, by the time you get to be 20 something years old, you understand that there is a trade that happens, right? Here's a barter: money, time. You're spending your money, I'm giving you time. And you know, everybody knows the anecdote of, oh, if a guy takes you to this restaurant, he spends this much money on you. He expects that at the end of the night, here's where we're going, right? And then he'll get
Mhm.
upset because, oh, this is the invisible bargain. And so I just think, no, I'm not selling my soul. The problem is that so many people are unclear, and there are guys that actually get offended, like, hold on, you thought I wanted what? No, I just wanted to do X, Y, and Z for you. I wanted to provide this for you. You go, oh, so then imagine the female that's like, oh, well, I was using my wiles. I was, you know, she's on the other side. She's milling him. And she's like, oh no, he gave me $50. So I thought this was what I had to do. Like, no, you're not selling your soul.
All right.
You
No.
gotta
And
bend over for that Benjamin.
Ro, did you co-sign with what Love had to say, or
Yeah,
you?
I do. And I also agree with I don't know his name right here at the bottom of the screen.
But at the very bottom.
At the very bottom, what he said was something that was real deal, serious and true. When you get in a relationship, and as far as dealing with money and finances, communication. Communication. All you have to do is communicate that. You know, what's understood doesn't it never has to be explained at all. So if you have that communication with your partner, then they already know how you are, the type of person you are, what you're expecting, you know, what you're looking for, you know, and again, it goes to goals and who you're dealing with. That also says a lot, you know, the person that you're dealing with. But again, the biggest key factor is the communication.
Okay. All right. So let me get Buck and Ray back in here and ask them this. You know, a lot of women say they like old school men from the 1960s, so to speak, as far as their mindset. Men who will pay the bills, take her out for nights on the town, get her hair and nails done. But on Sundays, he's getting a two-piece snack box from KFC instead of a nice home cooked Sunday dinner. I mean, so some people think that there are some ladies who have a 2021 mindset, but they still want a 1962 man. If a man is handling his business, then some people feel like the woman should be handling hers and not taking the lazy route. But Buck, let me go to you. But do you think that's part of the problem? Um, do you think that women expect and deserve money from their dudes and they don't actually appreciate or reciprocate the act? And that's why we have this whole back and forth?
Yep.
Well, a lot of that is what we're dealing with is people. First of all, you got to have a teacher. Your teacher should be your parents. You know, monkey see, monkey do. If your parents, interact with each other, they talk about finance, they talk about things, they have a system in place. You know, if you're paying attention to them and they're doing things right and they teach you right, then you have a stable person that knows how to treat a partner or significant other, or what have you. The problem is we have a lot of broken homes, and we got a lot of kids raising kids and things of that nature. So you don't have good teachers. You got kids, because they don't know, they can't teach you because they don't have any role models. They don't have the grandparents. They don't, or grandparents live on the other side of the country. Uncles and aunts live on the other side of the country. And then, if you got a broken home, well, it's kind of hard to have good role models. Maybe their friends have the same thing that they got going on at their house. So if once you get out there and you start trying to date and things of that nature, and you've never really seen how it's supposed to be, then you don't know how it's supposed to be. So that's really where it begins right there. So with all that being said, I mean, if you don't know, you got to find out somewhere. So there's a lot of things that can go into this, and we could probably talk about this all night. But that's where a lot of this is coming from. If you don't know how to, then you don't know how you treat the significant other. And that's why you got a lot of drama going into these relationships. And that's what, again, you got to communicate. Because sometimes if the partner really digs this person, and, communication can help out, and you can actually learn how to do what you need to do. And it could go both ways. It doesn't matter if it's a guy or girl. So I thought I'd put that spin on it.
All right. So Ray, do you agree with Buck, or do you think that some women just feel like they're entitled to getting money from guys, and that is what's causing some of the drama that we see?
Well, I think now you have a lot of females who think that they're entitled to get money, but you have some that are independent. But those that want to get money, it's just a situation of, do they deserve to get money or not? Okay, if you working a lot, or will she go run your errands for you? Will she go make sure you straight, or you got lunch or breakfast, or whatever the case may be? Then that's a different situation. But you walking around thinking you Beyonce or somebody, and somebody's supposed to take care of you, no, that ain't gonna work. First of all, you gotta get your attitude together. You gotta get your hair together, get your mind together, and everything else before you can even start talking like that. And I think that enough guys are not demanding enough when they get demands put on them. And if they were to do that, then I think everything would be better off. But you know, you got people out here now think that you're supposed to do something. Things are supposed to be, you're supposed to want to do things for somebody. If you don't want to do things for somebody, then maybe they can check what they're doing wrong, why a person doesn't want to do it for them. If you do what you're supposed to do, it's not a problem. Nobody minds spending money. So either you with the wrong guy or you're doing the wrong thing.
All right. And let's see, Big Smash, your camera went off, bro. You still there? All right, I'll check back in on him. And so let's talk about resentment. And I'm gonna go back to the ladies on this, and we're gonna talk about resentment. Can giving a woman money cause resentment from the man? For example, if she's a single mom and her baby's father is non-existent when it comes to child support, which greatly contributes to her being, in a bad financial state. Ladies, how would you feel about your significant other kind of making up the deficit that your deadbeat baby's father may leave? You think that can cause resentment, or is that his responsibility?
Well, I think that because it's a relationship, again, it goes back to the fact of a communication in a relationship and what she accepts and put out for her significant other that she's with. I wouldn't throw the whole responsibility tactic on him, but if he's willing to want to step up and be a father, because no father's in place as far as the baby daddy goes, then, that would be something that he would take on for his own self, not that he's forced or anything, because really and truly, there's really some nice guys out there that are willing, only because when it comes to the caring of the children, they actually have a sincere heart. Not that it's an obligation, but when you're with the woman and you see her going through something, again, you're making a commitment with your relationship.
All right. Love, what do you think? If a guy is, I mean, if you're dating a guy and your baby's dad is not pulling his weight and now he feels certain financial obligations to help you out because he sees you struggling, I mean, do you think that could cause resentment in the relationship?
Oh shoot! Are you reading my life? A lot of things can cause resentment, but I think one of the things that really happens in those kind of scenarios, right, is for the man, there's a question of, well, I'm putting myself out there, right? So I'm making myself vulnerable. Is this guy just gonna step back in? Is he gonna be able to kind of take my spot if he's able to, come in and do everything that I was doing? There's a little bit of that. And I think, just the idea of that can cause resentment. If you feel like things aren't solid with that woman. But in a way, it's kind of weird. I think it could cause resentment on both ways, actually, where the woman can go, okay, I have, it starts to create, it can create a seed of resentment against men, period. And you're looking at your child, and most oftentimes the child looks somewhat like the father, right? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm looking at you and I'm just reminded what a jackass that dude is. And this one is trying to be good, but I can't really trust dudes anymore. You getting on my nerves, not doing what you're supposed to do. And this guy is trying to be nice, but I think I need to hold you at arm's length. So it can really be a problem. That's why I personally, I always feel that it's a tricky subject, especially when it comes to kids. And usually it's like more than one kid, not just one kid,
Yeah.
where a guy is trying to step in and he's like, oh, because the resentment, when I say women, probably can feel that as well, is because the guy comes in like, dun dun dun, dun, I'm the savior. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna give you money. This is
Mm-hmm.
gonna solve your problems because look, you were going through this hardship because this jackass wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, and now I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna discipline this kid and I'm gonna be the dad. And you're going, wait a minute, hold up. I'm still in charge of what's going on in this house, so that's a really touchy subject. I'm kind of curious of what the guys think about that, as far as
All right. Well,
women
we'll
and their kids.
Yeah, I agree. It is. And then it's power and control too. That takes control of the whole situation. So you don't know, they could go left or right, and then he has that power and control, then it's another thing that leads on to you and him arguing. And I mean, it can get crazy. Been there, done it. It can get very, very crazy.
all right. So we'll get the fellas' opinion and then we'll get ready to wrap things up. And so, Big Smash, what do you think, man? Do you think that it can cause resentment as a guy who's dating a woman and her baby's dad is not pulling his weight and it's causing her financial struggles, which kind of can fall upon you in certain situations?
No. I think the way I feel, because I lived this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Before I got married, I lived this situation. Dude wasn't doing shit. He wasn't trying to do shit. And I learned that you cannot accept dealing with this woman if you don't accept everything that comes with that. That, especially if you're thinking long term. You know, you can't go into dealing with a woman with kids and thinking you're only going to deal with just the woman. It doesn't work like that. So all of us, men and women, we have baggage. So to cast somebody out because of what someone else is doing is just wrong. I always felt like, look, if I'm dealing with you and the love is that deep and we are serious, we are on that path, then your problems are my problems. And if I can't deal with it, I'll be man enough to say that. I won't lead you on and act like I'm Richie Rich or something like that. I'll let you know, hey, it might be time to reach out. It might be time to reach out to the child's father and let him know, yo, you are a man. You have a responsibility to do that. But I am one of those people that if I got it, we gonna make it happen. If I don't, then I'm gonna let you know. So yes, I think in some cases it does cause resentment for a hardworking man who isn't that serious about the woman that he's dealing with to have to pick up the slack, because a lot of women in this generation feel like they're not messing with a man who's not going to somewhat support them, if not all the way support them, up or down. So yeah, it can, but it all depends on that type of man also.
All right, and I'll let any of the other fellas want to chime in on that. Do you think that is resentment that can be caused if, you know, you're dating someone who has a baby's dad is not pulling his weight and causing her financial strife? So Eminem, Buck, Ray, either y'all want to chime in?
Yeah,
you can go first.
Oh yeah, I mean, I lived it too. I mean, when I got married, my wife had 2 kids already, and she was married to two other guys and had a boy by each. So they were 8 and 12 at the time. So it was the first couple of years, she just didn't, you know, I was taking care of the kids and working. We were both working 12 hours. And she really didn't get on board all the way. And there was a lot of, you know, mixed signals. You know, the kids will call me and I say no, and then they call her and she says yes, because she got to hurry up and get off the phone because she couldn't be on the phone. So you have, again, this is another communication situation. This is something that she didn't want to talk about. And, you know, I was going like, look, we got to get on the same page. If I say no, you know, it's automatic no all the way across the board. There's no need for them to call. So again, I mean, whether it's finances or whatever that you're dealing with in your relationship, there has to be some communication involved. So therefore, there won't be any, you know, misunderstandings. There won't be any fighting and things of that nature. It took her about 2 years to kind of get on board, you know, and I'm like, you got to get on board. Let's go. And then we had one. So, you know, now we got 3. So, you know, once we get, you know, right before we had the third one, she's going like, yeah, I need to get on board and, you know, put my foot down and stuff like that, because she was just so lollygag about it. And, you know, then she got on board and everything went fine. So just communicate and get things out there to where, whether it's finances or whatever, you don't have those issues.
Okay. Eminem, Ray, you have a response?
Yeah, I respond. I mean, I think that anytime you date a woman that has kids, that's a bill. So you got to understand what comes along with that. And then you could try to be a good guy and try to be sensible and spend your money and do this and that. Now, whatever you doing ain't soon as not going to be good enough. Then you're going to start thinking, well, maybe ain't the nigga she was with. Maybe it was her. And you won't understand that. And I mean, if nothing else, if a woman got a deadbeat baby daddy, she made a bad decision. And she's a bad decision maker. And you shouldn't reward her with that just because y'all are together. Now, if you make a commitment, you get married and all this other stuff, of course, the kids come along with that. You treat the kids just like you would treat your own. But if you just dating, oh well, we going out, but I don't have a babysitter. Can they come? Oh, so now you gotta buy 3 meals instead of two. Oh, I don't have money for the babysitter. Can you give me $50? Oh, now you gotta be spending money again, which the liability is not yours. And I think a lot of guys get twisted up in that because girl come out, she looking good, smelling good, tight jeans and all that. You ain't thinking clearly. Instead of saying, okay, um, every time, uh, even if we do nothing else, if you feed her, feed the child, pay for the babysitter, and you go to the hotel and you screw all night, you still spent more money than you should have spent. And guys don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Now she done ate off you free. She done fucked just like you. She done got drunk, and she got a babysitter paid for, all for a kid that's not yours. And you gotta understand that. No, why not get you a girl that does not have a child? I know that's difficult out here nowadays, but find somebody that takes care of herself because you have all these women going to work, but then they want somebody else to take care of them. Shit, if you going to work, then where your money at? You know what I'm saying? Like one of my partners once said, chick came out of the house and didn't have no pocketbook. He said, where you going without your purse? You know what I mean? Go back in there and get your purse because we spending money together. We not spending separate. So that's just how it go. But guys, you can find nice women with children, but understand what come along with that. It's a big commitment. You got to do something she's going to ask you to do that she ain't asking her baby father to do, or the expectation is not there for him to do it. So if you guys break up, you spend a lot of money, the kid then call you daddy and everything else. Meanwhile, you have no legal obligation to that child. So you need to think about that.
All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and get ready.
Oh,
Yeah, who wants to jump in?
Eminem didn't.
yeah, man. I wanted to get in on that too, man.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, real quick, man. And like I say, the guys is on point with all that shit, man. But now one variable in it with resentment is on the woman's end because I call it the third child syndrome. And if you take the average chick, I'm talking about some hood shit now, you know, she about 24, one kid baby daddy, you know, he got shot up or something, but the nigga about 26. Other one might be. He's like, well, hold on. This third child, dad is like 57, 58 years old. What's going on here? And so you starting to see a lot of that because, like I say, it's fucked up when the guy is in his prime, you know, he don't have no kids. He just getting started on life and he's shooting himself on the foot, fucking with you. You already got kids. But now for these old men, you know, who taking them pills and shit like that, oh man, that's cooking you out. You know, because you know this chick done fucked up. She ain't got shit. You know, all your kids grown anyway, man. You fucking everything to move with your damn Social Security shit. You know what I'm saying? And you watch a lot of chicks, third kid is for an old ass man. It don't matter.
Oh boy.
Like in that
Oh, he said every third kid is from an old man. Erica said, "What?"
Third kid.
I'm tickled by
Next
that.
time you go to a funeral, next time you go to a funeral,
How do you come up with
You
this,
what?
man? How do you come up with
you
this?
watch. This dude, 80-something years old.
This dude.
You know, he got kids all in the 60s. The oldest kid might even be 70, especially if he had him young. You're like, damn. There's another kid younger than his grandkid.
Tale from the
Yeah,
hood.
that's that third child, man.
Tale from the hood.
Oh man.
That damn Eminem boy.
You didn't tickle me. Eminem, I think you didn't. I think you've summoned someone. I have Someone who just joined the virtual phone line. So let me see what she has to say. From the 985 area code in the Pelican state of Louisiana, please welcome on show legend Erica Warren to the Talk to Q radio show. Erica, what's going on?
What Eminem talking about?
Oh boy.
All that old pimp stuff.
Brand new show legend in the mix. Erica decided she had to chime in because of what Eminem said. Go ahead with your response, Erica.
I thought these older gentlemen was trying to keep chivalry alive. So y'all telling me y'all ain't paying for dates either?
Well, no. Once you don't get past your prime, you taking whatever you can get.
You ain't in your prime either.
I ain't
so you gotta take what you can get too. As long as I'm a little bit younger than you, I'm in my prime next to you, so you gonna pay me.
See what Tales from the Hood do?
Yeah,
you see what Tales from the Hood do?
Yeah, count them children at the funeral. It's like, damn. Man.
I mean, where did you? I want to know where you got this damn scenario from. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's oddly specific.
Thank you.
It's oddly specific.
You just making up scenario.
No, I believe he saw that somewhere. I believe Eminem saw that somewhere.
I'm over here cute. I'm dying over here.
Oh,
go to
I came in
you
at
got
the
some
end.
free time, go to the food stamp office and just sit there for a minute, or go to like a health clinic or something like that.
And what that means?
Oh my God!
Nah, just be like, hey, you got some cute kids, and watch that third one gonna be for an old man if she get comfortable enough.
Lord have mercy.
Well, you must
I think I'm about to take a shot of Fireball on that.
Why I want to believe him so bad?
I think it's true life.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all seen a scenario like that. But the way he just set that out there, man, you can't help but laugh. I'm going like, what the hell did he get? It's like this had to be recent that he's seen this shit, you know?
Well, think about what we're saying. The girl, just like my cousin was saying, she make dumbass decisions. Now she hard up after the second one. So guess what? Now she trying to wise up. But like I say, a young up and coming guy getting ready to go to the NBA. He ain't got no kids. He like, yeah, you pretty as hell, but shit, man, you got 2 kids with 2 different niggas, and one of them already dead. But
Eminem, that don't stop nothing. That don't stop nothing. A woman is not less valuable because she has some kids.
Progress.
All right, let me get in here and get ready to wrap things up. You all took
that
a
old
man.
man looking like, Jesus Christ, look at all that coming down the street. Damn.
I think that.
All right. So let me go ahead and get ready to wrap things up. Next week, we're discussing what are you doing mean from guys. I'll invite some guest panelists on to discuss why some guys just aren't that good when it comes to communicating. And there's just a disconnect with technology these days. Text messaging dumbs down a lot of things. It makes things convoluted. So we'll talk about communication next week on the Talk to Q radio show. No experts, just opinions every Tuesday at 7:30. So we'll get ready to do our final thoughts and shut things down. And Buck, I'll start with you, man, to get your final thoughts on the evening. Whatever you would like to share. Buck just dropped off. So, all right, let me go with Ray and get your final thoughts on the evening, sir.
It's a very, very good show, Q. I mean, it's an interesting topic. I'm sure a lot of people go through it in the dating world, but I think that, it has to be fairness with dating. If you're a female and you had kids and things like that, I think you have to be more transparent. I think you have to be more aware of who you're dating, and I think you have to set your expectations up front so that a person knows whether they want to deal with you or not. Because if someone has kids, that's a liability. Now, if you're serious enough with the woman, then it doesn't matter if she has kids or not because the kids come along with it. But we're talking about dating. You get ready to go on vacation, this little rug rat got to come with y'all. So now you got to get another ticket and you got to do all types of stuff because then, get in the hotel, this little rug rat want to be cot blocking. So either way you go, you got a problem. You sitting in the car talking about something, this rug rat peeking up in the middle of the seats talking in y'all conversation. So you got to deal with all this shit. Then on top of that, you got to deal with a baby father. You got to deal with his nonsense. And you say, hey, this nigga gonna make me kill him or he gonna kill me. You don't need that. So leave her alone and leave the situation alone. So for the most part, I think you better off if you start out with somebody who does not have all of that baggage. Because 90% of the time, especially if they're black, now I don't know about all these other races, but you're black, it's going to be a whole lot of drama. Drama you don't need if you already got enough stress in your life in the first place. So you don't have to worry about her asking for no money and telling you what you should be doing and everything else because you don't mess with her in the first place. You ain't got to even ask no questions. Go out and get you somebody else that didn't make these early mistakes or, explore the rainbow out there. Mexican, Chinese, Indian, Puerto Rican, or whatever until you find what you're looking for. But a good show, good topic. Y'all have a good night.
All right. I appreciate that, sir. And Erica, I'll let you give your 2 cents.
Children are not a liability because when a woman has kids, she has a lot to consider with letting a man be around her children. Is he going to be an asset to the situation? Is he going to be a good influence on her children as well? And so, if a woman sees enough value in him to allow him to be around her children, then uh, he should be gracious for that. So I'm not going to sit here and say that children are a liability or they
A
take
big
away from the
liability.
value of being with a woman. That's just perspective
Yep.
because there are a lot of men who will come into that situation that can't have kids of their own and they would jump at the opportunity to be able to be a mentor and an influence on somebody else's children.
Yeah.
So it's just all about the kind of man that you're dealing with. I believe that there are still men out here who see value in women, regardless if they have children or not, and they will be chivalrous and they will pay for the date and they won't look at it as a loss.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. Good to see you.
Thank
And
you.
Ro, I will go with you.
I'm gonna say one thing, and I won't be long with mine. Like my grandmother always told me when I was younger, find your equal. Find someone that's equally as you are. And again, it goes back to communication. What you put out is what you will receive. And that's why it's called dating. So you can date, so you can get to know somebody else, and see how they are and how they'll be, and not just short term dating, but long term. And date, date as much as possible. Your equal is out there.
Okay. I appreciate that. You want to plug your book?
Yeah, I can find my book now. It just came out July 18th on my daughter's 21st birthday, called Finding the Impossible Me. You don't want to miss out. It is a great journey and a phenomenal story on my life when I was incarcerated in federal prison.
All right.
Where can we find this at?
This can be found on Amazon. Sorry about the noise, y'all.
All right.
Kids.
All right. We appreciate that, Ro. Thank you very much for joining. Good to see you again. And Eminem, what you got, man?
Oh man, great show, great having all these guests on here, man. I'm talking about like, man, just heartwarming to see all these people on here, man. You know what I'm saying? But okay, we talking about spending money, man. You know what I'm saying? Money is perceived to be the root of all evil. You know what I'm saying? So I never believed that. I always thought, money is a good thing. But if you move, you lose. So you know what I'm saying? So when you male or female, but definitely female, you know what I'm saying? Like money will enhance certain attributes about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like money can make you look better, money can make you smell better, money can put you in better vehicles, money can put you in a better living situation. So with that said, I know we got a lot of guests to get to. If you are a female and you don't have a lot of options, one option you always have and always will have, unless you do some of this new shit where you get your shit turned to something else, use what you got to get what you want, and look at the sweater on the avatar, 1313. Yeah, love, you new on here. I don't think you heard 1313. Listen, every city got some kind of local government, aldermen, and some have councilmen, some have neighborhood, political activists and all that. Get with all them people first, okay? Then take it up to the next level. Take it up to the state level. Your senators and your representatives and all that. Then you push and get that thing going to the White House. You know what I'm saying? You have some tell that you want 1313 made a passable bill to totally legalize the ability to sell that twat for what you got, so everybody can get out of poverty. You can stabilize marriages, because whoever ain't tricking or John gonna probably be, people who gonna be, really in love and all that. But anybody with ulterior motives on either end will be well paid or screwed or whatever, and everybody happy, and the ultimate filter comes on, and nothing left but a few square people that'll live happily ever after, just like a damn, Cinderella story. But everybody else will be out here tricking and fucking and spending money. You know what I'm saying?
What do we get for $10?
All right, Eminem. He's in rare form tonight, Eminem. I believe you were up in the pulpit on that one.
So, baby, yeah, shit, these man and shit, all these old nuts making these new babies out here, boy, Lord. I don't even start talking about this.
All right, man. All right, Eminem. I appreciate it. Buck, once again, you got to go behind the man.
Why you keep punishing me like this, man? You see what I got right here? I'm gonna have to get some of this right now after that one. But anyway, great show. First of all, I'm a little bit more sensible. So again, Bill 1313. That's hilarious. You know what? Once you get into a relationship, I mean, there's some things that you got to know. First of all, to keep from having any issues, you have to have some sort of standards. You have to have standards for yourself. You know what kind of person you like. So don't settle for somebody that could possibly give you some issues. From a financial standpoint, relationship standpoint, anything. You go out on your first date, you pretty much figure out this rascal is probably not the one for you. So don't make the mistake. Don't think that you take this person on and you settling and you knew they were a chicken head from the beginning and you still did it anyway. That's on you. It's not on the other person. So, but all that being said, when you get into a relationship, use your communication skills, whether it be finance, which is what we were talking about mostly tonight, children, what have you. You get with a woman that has children, you know it's a package deal, so you know what you're up against. So in any situation that you're in, make sure you communicate. So therefore, there will not be problems. If you communicate, it should be easy. The relationship should be fun. Shouldn't have any problems unless you just grow apart. But you may even leave as friends. So take that in consideration in any relationship, especially when it comes to finances. But in everything that you do in a relationship, you shouldn't have any issues. So other than that, great show. Glad to have all the ladies on. I think there was one lady here that was new, so that's great. Glad to have everybody on, everybody in the chat rooms and things of that nature. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week.
All right. Thank you very much,
Get your drink on,
sir.
too.
I appreciate that. And Big Smash, what you got, bro?
Man, I agree with a lot of things that was said. I think it was dope. I will just say this. Somebody has to teach these children if who is supposed to teach them ain't doing his job. So with that being said, I know I got in late, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the invite. I learned a lot of new things on this one. So shout out to Eminem for that. So yeah,
Yes, sir.
I
Appreciate it,
enjoyed
dog.
this, man, and I like what you're doing. So we got to continue to build and grow and learn from each other, and that's the only way we're gonna get better. So appreciate that.
All right, I appreciate that, man. We'll definitely get you back on. And go ahead and plug your show and what you do.
All right, I am the co-host of Bet the House podcast. We are on every podcast listening platform. We just speak our mind. We have no filter. It's sort of like this show. We have no filter. We're going to give it to you in the raw, and we're just gonna speak how we want to and how we feel. Otherwise, we don't want to do it. So again, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Instagram, it's all Bet the House podcast.
All right, I appreciate it, man. I've been checking y'all out on Instagram Live, and you're definitely right about the unfiltered. Y'all tell it like it is. So it's very enjoyable. Y'all be sure to check out Bet the House. And Love, shut it down for me, please. Your final thoughts.
Oh, I'm last but not least, I hope. I was glad I didn't have to follow Eminem. Let me just say that. And he had me with him for a second, and then it was like, oh no, I'm all the way on, Erica Brown's page. But I found it quite enlightening. I do enjoy a discussion where we get a lot of different perspectives, and I think it can be a touchy topic. Money and relationships, it can seem something that can taint a lot of things, and I very much agree with Buck that communication is very necessary. I would say, especially in the beginning, I'd like to tack on another word to that, which is expectation. If we find out what people's expectations are, and how they deal with money, then you know who you're dealing with and whether or not you should deal with them or not. And you'll find out if you got to give them money or not. Because I have been in situations where I made more money than him, and it wasn't a big deal to me. But I appreciate coming on, busting my cherry on Talk to Q. And, I very much enjoyed the discussion. I will say, as you can see, I am the author of the book 2024. You can get it on Amazon.
It's a nice looking book.
Like that, all black, everything. And I hope you enjoy this rest of the week and the rest of July. Everybody stay safe, please.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you making your maiden voyage into the T2Q universe. And so that's going to get it. And I look at the situation like this. We've all seen the funny video, well, at least most of us, of the man who takes his woman on a nice vacation and he tries to push up on her. She won't give him none. He treats her to everything. And when he drops her off at home, Ray rolls up on a bicycle and takes her off to go blow her back out. So giving money to a woman to impress her will get you attention, but it won't get you affection. So to the guys out there, don't do it just to impress her. Do it for the right reason and not because you have expectations. If you want expectations to come with your money, then go to Bill 1313 route and buy a hooker. You know, the rules are understood there. But as a man, if you decide to give a woman money, then let it be because it may be a missing piece in order for her to reach her highest potential as a woman. Okay. You won't feel played as long as she's reciprocating by giving you her time, dedication, and nurturing methods. We don't ever think that Nike played us when we shell out crazy money for Jordans. We don't think that a nightclub played us when we buy these overpriced bottles of alcohol that come with sparklers. We don't even question giving money to women we've never even met who are dancing on a stripper pole. So why do we have to be suspicious of a woman we're actually in a relationship with? My thanks to all of you, Ro, Buck, Big Smash, Love, Ray, Eminem, Erica, thank you very much. Like the show, subscribe to the show, support the show. Just Google Talk to Q, one word, talk the number 2 Q. And we will see you next week, same time. All right.